making sense of Oregon's defensive depth chart, and we're going to answer some questions from fans here on the Ducks Confidential podcast. I am Aaron Fentress of the Oregonian OregonLive, and he is George Wrighster of the Unafraid Show and the C-Dub. You're not doing C-Dub right now, right? Because the season's over. Are you?
Yes, sir. We are not doing that right.
Okay.
Right now, and your boy might be in a different spot next year.
Announcement, or just a maybe? Just a tease?
It looks
just a
like
tease?
Might be moving up like the Jeffersons.
Moving up like Jeffersons. Speaking of moving up, before we get started, I know I said last week that the whole Mensa thing and Miami thing is unseemly, but now that it looks like it's going to happen, let's go Mensa. Let's go. I finally got this in the mail. I was going to get it for the national championship game between Oregon and Miami, but that didn't happen. But I'm going to put it right here because I'm going to will into existence an Oregon-Miami matchup next season in the playoff. That's my number one focus over everything else. We got to have that. So I got me a Miami helmet. I'm going to put it right there in between two Ducks helmets so I can just mentally make that happen. All right. Last week.
Hold on. Check your phone, Aaron Fentress.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah. Send me that Hyundai. Yeah. You know what? I appreciate that, man. You're a man of honor. And, to remind people, we had a 5-year bet whether the Ducks would win the national championship, which makes me seem like the ultimate hater that I said they wouldn't win it within 5 years. I know. But, I said that.
Talks like a duck is not a chicken.
But at the time we made the bet, I was like, Mario's doing a good job, but I just don't see it. Lots changed since then. That was 5 years ago, man. That was, and things changed in your
time. You were the Ducks' number one hater, and now you're getting accused of being a homer. Long way.
I wasn't hating. I just didn't see it. But a lot went your way though, because of the portal and the ability to steal players helped give the Ducks, like they were ranked number 1 2 years ago, and this year they were in the Final Four, right? So I mean, you got to look at it. You got to look at it. We'll consider another bet, but after this year,
I can't be mad, bro. I had a chip in a chair.
You got to look.
Yes. Yep.
You got to look.
I had to look at the 3-pointer, and we just didn't make it. It's all right.
I will admit this. I remember talking to you. I was in the airport coming back from some Blazers trip, and I was talking to you about the roster and the portal and the money, and it was last year, and you were saying how you thought that team was this and that and blah blah blah. And I started looking at it, and I was looking at all the new players because they had most of the team was transferred.
Yeah,
and I was like, damn, they added that guy and that guy and that. I was like, damn, if Dan Lang could just run around just throwing around pocketbooks everywhere, I could be in trouble. I was a little nervous. I didn't want to let you know. I was like, nah, man, Dylan Gabriel don't matter. I was looking him up, and I was like, damn, he's already thrown for 17 million yards. That's because Bo Nix leaving. I'm like, Bo Nix, they got to get a youngster, and then you get Dylan Gabriel, and then they get Dante. So I was a little nervous, but I came through. All right.
You escaped by just
yeah. Okay, so looking forward, though, I wouldn't make that bet right now because I like next year's team because of the experience factor carrying over, especially at quarterback.
And you have to believe that in the next 5 years that they'll be close. Even if they don't win it, that at least 2 or 3 times in the next five years, they will be close.
Well, another thing that didn't exist 5 years ago was the 12-team format.
Yes.
You had to get into the top 4. So
the thing is, had we not had the 12-team format, I might have won.
The 2024 team might have just been crowned national champions. Let's say they played Penn State in the Rose Bowl.
If it were the 4-team playoff, because I believe if last year, if it were the 4-team playoff, Ohio State wouldn't have even been in.
They wouldn't have been in it.
And that may have been the only team that could have beat Oregon. So I may have been right. So I had things go my way, and I clearly had things go away from my way as well.
I know. It's crazy. So, But right now, I would not make. I might make that bet again with you after this coming year. But the 12 team thing changes everything because Oregon should be in the playoffs at least 50% of the time.
Like, yeah, I would agree with that.
Because if you look back to 2000, I think 25 teams. I think 14 or 15 would have been playoff teams in the 12 team format. So going ahead, you got at least 50, 60%. So they're always going to have a look. So I might not make that bet again, but I'm going to take this $100. I'm going to frame it right here so I can taunt you with it as long as possible. It'll be the last $100 I ever spend in my life.
Oh,
how about that?
Okay.
Right before I die, I'm going to just buy something on Amazon and send you the receipt, say, thanks, George, and then I'm a flat line. Just so I can hang it over your head to my very last breath. What's the last thing you're gonna say before you die? Something to your family? Nah. I'm gonna talk trash to George Wrighster.
Funny story. So that is the way I am with Joey Harrington.
Okay.
Joey has owed me $100 for like 20 years.
What?
No, because we made a bet about somebody getting drafted or something. He was like, "No way," and for sure did. And he's tried to pay me multiple times, and this is prior to digital payments. He's probably and now he's just like, whatever. I mean, granted, now you can unsolicited Apple Pay somebody like I just did you, but
right.
But this is way prior to digital payments. So he tried to pay me a couple of times and I just refused. I was like, no, I would rather say that you owe me $100 than you pay me $100.
That's hilarious. It's ultra petty, but I love it.
That's ultra petty. Oh my God. Speaking of petty, why did I send you that $100? Damn it.
What?
Because my original intention was to do what I did when I was in the NFL. So I lost a bet to our trainer in 2004 because it was when the Yankees and Red Sox were in the conference championship game, and when the Yankees lost the 0-3 lead.
Mm-hmm.
So I was I wouldn't call myself a Yankee fan. I've always been a Dodger fan, but I was a huge A-Rod fan. Okay. And
I suspect, but okay.
And he was a huge. Hey, my three favorite baseball players of all time. What the heck did you just do?
Oh, I just transferred the money to my bank account.
Oh, so I just leave it in my Apple Pay because I send kids my kids money all the time. So yeah, so it's the playoffs, and we got to bet on who's going to win the series prior to the series starting. And he was like, "Bro, you make way more money than I do. I need some odds." I was like, "Okay, cool." So I gave him 8-1 odds on $100. Okay, in the series. So I'm like,
okay.
Yo, Yankees are going to win this series. So I go up 1-0. He was like, "George, I'll let you out of the bet right now for $700." I was like, man, if you don't get away from me. Yankees up 2-0. George, I'll let you out of the bet for $400 right. For $500 right now. Mike, leave me alone. Are you kidding me? This is one of the most dominant teams ever. They go up 3-0. George, I'll let you out of the bet right now for $100. Mike, stop. I'm up 3-0. This has never happened in the history of life. Like, stop it. Then he proceeds. It's 3-1, and I think they barely snuck out of that one.
Yeah.
And he's like, George, I'll let you out for $200 right now. Mike, no, they're gonna win one of the next 4 games. Leave me alone. Same thing. 3-2 he offers. 3-3. George, I'll let you out right now for $500. Mike, no, they're not gonna lose 4 games in a row. I know that you won 3. This has happened, and then they win. So now I'm like, bro, I got to pay this man $800. So what I did is I went to the bank. I got all $1 bills.
No.
And mind you, but that wasn't the level of petty. because he could just take a wrap thing of like 7. You know how they put the little band around it, around $100 a ones, and they could just hand it to you, right? Like if I handed him that, he could just take it to the bank, and they would give him $100 a ones, right? No. Me and my girlfriend at the time, I was like, "Yo, I need your help." So first thing is at the bank, I asked them for old $1 bills. I didn't want new because the new ones kind of stick together some. So I unwrapped them. I got a paper bag. I took each and every one, balled them up in a ball, toss it in the bag, like little balls, like this size, as small as you can make a dollar. Threw it in the bag, but I only put $798 in the bag. And then I handed him the bag because I needed him to count it more than once. So I handed it to him, and he was like, "What's this?" I was like, "This is your money." He was like, "No. He was like, "No." I was like, "No, I'm paying you your money. We did not agree on what form. You look at it, give you nickels." And he was like, and I was like, but the thing is, nickels would have been too easy because then you could have just got a sorting machine. No. So he goes, and about 3 days later, he's like, "George, I counted the money. It was only $7.99, and he had that wrong." I was like, "Mike, I gave you $800, bro. Like you think I cheated you out of some money? Blah 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 blah. You need to count it again." So he goes back and counts it again. He's like, "George, it's only $798." And I was like, "Oh, my bad." And I gave him the $2 in quarters. That's the level of petty I am.
You're a super villain. Dude, okay, first of all, if you had done that to me, I would have counted it. I don't even know if I would have counted it. But if I counted it and I was off one or two, I wasn't going to sweat it. I still got $798 from you. I can't believe he kept counting. It was hounding you for $2.
Yeah, but imagine having to undo every single dollar, bro.
Yeah, you're horrible. Okay, well, I'm glad you just sent me $100 electronically instead of sending me.
And then I forgot it.
Okay, well, now that we know just how horrible of a person you are, truly. Okay, Oregon. Let's start with the D-line.
Okay.
All right. They got linebackers as edges, DN edges, blah, blah, blah. Let's start in the inside with the dudes that we know exactly what they are. Defensive tackle, nose tackle, etc. Returning Bear Alexander, returning Amari Washington. Clearly huge for the Ducks. Anytime you can return your top four, front four guys, whatever you want to call them, that's just ginormous. They're going to be one of the top front fours in the country, no doubt. And the interior is there, so they're going to be stout. Those guys should get better. But where's the depth? Is there depth?
No. This is where they did in the transfer portal. One, there is a kid that is still on the roster who they believe in a lot. He's just been inconsistent. Has some off the field stuff, but not like getting in trouble or anything like that. Has some stuff going on, and that's Aiden Breland. They're like, this kid is a monster when it's on. So there's some potential there. And he's flashed at times, and also he broke his leg. He's had some injury. Like I would be very hopeful about him. The kid. Dontre Robinson, who transferred from North Carolina, be excited about that 6'4", 315-pound man. I got a chance to, when I was on CW, we did a couple of North Carolina games as our featured game, so I had to watch a lot of North Carolina film this year. That kid, he was number 6. Yeah, he stuck out on film a lot. Like that piece I am very excited about. They added Jerome Simmons, this kid from Louisiana Monroe, who looks to be pretty good as well. And then the kid Drew Danzler as an edge from Oregon State. He had some moments as well. And then the kid Marcus Dixon from Clemson. That's more of a because he played tight end and defensive end. So, and he's going to come over and play defensive end. So,
is he playing defensive end? I think he's not playing tight end.
No. I'm pretty sure he's playing defensive end.
Okay, I've seen him listed as both. It's kind of confusing.
Yeah. So, I expect him to be playing edge.
So this says he announced as a tight end commit to Oregon.
Who said that?
It's been written that way by different people. But maybe no one knows for sure.
I would expect him based upon Oregon's tight end room. I would definitely expect him to be playing DN.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see. All right. So D tackle, you're feeling pretty good about, especially if these young kids pan out. And then they got the transfer from North Carolina. Sorry, here's ours. DeAndre Robinson.
Yep.
And then Jerome Simmons. So between those two transfers and the youngsters, Breland and did you say Matthew Johnson too? Matthew Johnson was a former 4-star defensive end.
Oh, yeah.
So they got bodies.
Yes.
They got bodies to work with, and they added 2 vets as depth. Because that was the thing, man. They lost Terrence Green, Ashton Porter, Xavion Sims, Tion Gray went to Notre Dame, and Jericho Johnson all left.
Yep. Yeah, but the one that felt like it hurt the most was Green.
Who went to Alabama. And Gray went to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Jericho Johnson went to Cal following Tosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and speaking of that, somebody asked me, because we obviously have questions and stuff like that. Somebody asked me about why more players didn't follow Will Stein. Because no Oregon players went to Kentucky.
Right.
Do you know the answer to that?
I do not.
What would you surmise the answer is?
Well, he would mainly attract offensive guys, and there weren't a ton of high-end offensive guys that transferred.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I take that back. I mean, Lamar to Washington made sense. He was maybe going to go there anyway had Kalen DeBoer not dropped the ball. Jay Harris went to Kansas State, so maybe he could have gotten him.
Yeah,
and then
tight end go to BYU. You had
right.
Yeah.
Now Novosad went to Bowling Green, but I always wondered about the Novosad to Kentucky thing because Novosad dropped the 3rd string, and that was partly because of Stein putting him behind Brock Thomas. So that to me would fracture the relationship, maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway, why? Tell me why.
I think part of it is exactly what you said, and then the other part is what I was told by people in the know was just that don't expect a lot of, and this is prior to, like after he got announced the job, they were like, don't expect a lot of portal players to go to Kentucky simply because he didn't necessarily have a whole lot of relationships, like super deep relationships with the players on that level, because he's not he wasn't like a big time
people person.
Yeah. So that was why. And,
gotcha.
And that's no knock. It's just is what it is. We're like kids just have more attachment to like some other players. That's why losing a guy like Junior Alexander was significant. You know what I mean? Or Samples, like those guys are very, very significant in recruiting. And
gotcha.
Tosh was. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's move on to the edge / linebacker. Obviously, Tatum, Mateo coming back again, huge. I mean, a lot of people thought Mateo might be a 1st-round pick. Apparently, his grade wasn't that high, which could, explain why maybe he's coming back. Tatum, I don't think was ever really going to be considered a 1st-rounder coming out of this season. So him coming back makes sense. Of course, I'm sure they're getting paid very well. So those two are back, and then you got, Elijah Rushing is a former high end. I think he was a 5-star recruit.
Yeah. On some services, like
Yeah.
I'm not sure what his composite was, but it was at least a very high four-star.
Right. And then they also have back. Hold on, another youngster, Torrance Williams, but he was kind of. I think he's a walk-on though. So who knows what he's going to do. New faces. You got transfer Blue Dantzler from Oregon State. You mentioned him before with the D lineman. And then true freshman Anthony Jones.
No, Elijah Rushing was a 5-star. Correct.
He was 5-star. Okay.
Yeah, it was number 26.
And then true freshman Anthony Jones, Tony Cumberland, Prince Tavizon, and Dutch Horisk. All high-end recruits. So they brought in some bodies there. Again, they lost Blake Purchase. That hurt. You admit that's one of the guys that hurt.
Yeah.
But do you think they got enough, by getting Dantzler and then these freshmen to make up for that? Because it seems like they need another veteran out there.
No.
You're good?
I think that they'll be in good shape at the edge, especially if Rushing is who they believe he is. Then you'll be fine because it'll be his third year in the program. Big, strong, fast. Like, you know what I mean? You would have expected him to come along around now anyway, or he'll be in the portal. So, one of those types of situations. So, so I actually feel very good about the roster. And I think that you have to know that Oregon feels good about the roster. Otherwise, they would have gone out like they did in other years. If they didn't feel good about a spot, what have they always done, Aaron?
Well, yeah, and that's my thing everywhere is that, when you recruit a lot of kids, you're expecting them to develop. They're not always going to play right away. So, yeah, when people leave, you're like, oh, no, they left. Well, who's going to replace them? Well, there should be, if you're doing your job recruiting and evaluating, freshmen and sophomores who haven't played a lot, who were 4-star recruits, 5-star recruits, who should be ready now to contribute. And you don't know much about them, but you stick them out there, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, that guy's pretty good. like Jeremiah McClellan. Like McClellan this year as a redshirt freshman. It was like all of a sudden he's playing more, he's making crazy catches. Now going into next year, you're like, oh, that guy's going to be money.
And you got to remember, too, is that it is rare that guys hop in the portal and coaches don't already know it or don't expect it.
Right. Don't have a plan. Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
None of these were Duke with Darian Mensah where you're like, oh my God, he did what? No. They know what guys are going to command a big ticket in the portal. And Oregon on some of these defensive linemen was like, listen, you go get your bread. If that's what you think your best move is, here's the number that fits with our roster, that makes sense with our roster. If you want a couple extra $100,000, you are well within your right to do that. But here is where we are, and we do want you back, but we got to have you at this number.
Right. Yeah,
and that's the business side.
It's just business at that point.
Yeah.
All right, linebacker Bryce Betcher, of course, is gone. Kamar Mathudi went to Cal with Tosh. They added some high-end freshmen, Braylon Hodge and Tristan Phillips. They didn't really go into a portal.
No, they did not get any linebackers out of the portal.
None in the portal. So you got Mixon back. You got Devon Jackson, Nasir Wyatt, who also I think plays some edge as well.
Nasir's an edge, though.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. Okay.
All he does
is he only edge, or does he also play linebacker?
No, he rushes the pass. That's it.
That's all. That's all he does. Because he's built more like a quote-unquote linebacker.
Yes, but he gets to the quarterback, brother.
So then he's going to back up Tatum then.
Yes, correct. Either like he'll be in on pass rush downs especially, but I think that he's gonna he's got to toughen up versus the run, and then he'll be more of an every down type of player. But they feel really good about Devon Jackson, Jerry Mixon, Nix, and Dylan Williams. They feel good about those kids.
Yeah, Dylan Williams, redshirt sophomore. He'll be a Braden Platt, another former recruit who will be a redshirt sophomore. So yeah, those are two examples of guys. Okay, guys, it's time for you to rise on up. But yeah, they didn't go into the portal for a linebacker, which is a little surprising. But like you said, if they like these kids that are coming up, then why would you?
Yep.
If you don't think you
they
get someone better.
Braden, I think Braden Platt hop in the portal or no?
No, Platt's back.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I guess you have plenty of depth.
All right. Defensive back. Let's start with safeties. You lost Thieneman.
Yep.
And then
Coy Parrish.
Right. Kingston Lopa left to Cal and Solomon Davis went to San Diego State, but you went out and you got Coy Parrish from Minnesota, who looks like maybe a slightly more athletic Thieneman, and Carl Williams from Baylor.
Yep.
To go along with the return of Mr. Flowers.
Well, and then they also added a JUCO corner who people were very excited about, as well. So, yeah.
Hold on a second.
And this team, and here's the part that I want to be very, very clear about. Is because I've heard people say, Aaron, about how the defense, they're like, oh, this defense has regressed. They haven't gotten better and all of this stuff. Well, that actually couldn't be further from the truth. Like, you look at, yes, the turnover margin wasn't as big this year as it was the previous years. But that's also because you turned the ball more over on offense this year than you have in the last couple of years. So Oregon finished +5 in turnover margin this year, +7 the year before, +11 the year before that, and +9 in Dan's first year. So if we cut down the number of inceptions by a 5, which is still a doable number.
And he threw those in his second year as a starter, as compared to Dylan Gabriel in his 6th year in college football and Bo Nix in his 5th and 4th year in college football. So,
yep,
not exactly a fair comparison, but continue.
Yeah, and then you look at the amount of sacks. Oregon's Dan's first year, only 18. Then it goes up to 34. Last year they had 40. This year it goes down to 30 because teams looked at the line and was like, we can't drop back pass. We have to do things quick against this team. So yes, your sack numbers went down a little bit, but here's where they have improved. Points allowed. First year, 70. They were 74th in the nation. Then they were 9th. Then they were 16th. Last year they were 12th in the nation. Things are moving in the right direction. Total defense rank 71, 22, 15, and then 7. Rush defense was better this last year than it. The only year that was better was 2023, and their pass defense, the best that it's ever been, is going down from 102 to 54 to 25 to 4. And the offensive numbers are trending in the same direction. Like the only comparable year to this year is 2023. That's it. And you were dealing with an older team at the time, but now you're going into 2026. You're going to be dealing with an older team, more high-end talent. You're going to be okay.
Makes sense. I'm with you. All right, hold on real quick. So Flowers, Woodyard is a safety, right?
Yep.
And McNutt?
Yep.
Okay. I put them in the wrong category for whatever reason. I'll double check. Okay, so returners at corner. They're clearly hurting at corner. Finney's weak. Iffy's weak. I don't know what they're going to do with those guys. Those guys are brutal.
Yeah, they got to find replacements for them.
And then Offord.
He's a good player, too.
And Dorian Drew, both two former 4-star kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then they added Aaron Scott from Ohio State. What do you think about him?
So he hasn't been highly productive because he didn't played a ton, but he has showed like some skill, and we know physically it's there. So we will have a good sense after spring ball because they've brought in players previously, and I was like, bro, what are they doing with that sorry dude? And then you're like, oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I should probably, I should probably just sit back and listen. And then they added Trayvon Watson, a JUCO kid who people were very, very high on as a corner. And then they bring in Xavier Leracy, the safety, who's going to be a true freshman, and then Kobe's nephew, Jet Washington, as well, as safety. So there's some excitement about him as a 5-star kid as well.
Wait, which one's that?
Jet Washington. That's Kobe's nephew.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Dude, I can't keep track of all these kids. This is too many for me. I need to go back. I like a basketball team where you got 15 dudes at the most.
And you really don't even have 15 because not all of them play.
Damn, they got 3 5-stars. Okay. So, it's someone like Jet. Is he like a 5-star in development, or is he like a legit 5-star where it's going to be like, we can't keep him off the field just like with Finney?
I hope it's one that we can't keep up. I mean, it all sounds great and good, but you don't know for sure until they show up and they work like a dog, because they knew from 2 weeks in that Finney was going to be good.
Right.
Just because of the way he came in and worked.
Wait, he's a safety.
Who?
Jet.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, we were talking about corners and you brought him up. You're confusing me. All right. Yeah, he's a 6'5" safety. That's just ridiculous. Is that? I don't know.
It's like
move him to receiver.
No,
he transferred. No. He transferred, didn't he?
Yes, but not because he couldn't play. There were some other factors.
Oh, okay. Because they lost in the transfer portal at corner. They lost Dalen Austin, Sion Leia to Missouri, Austin to Arizona, Dakota Fields to Oklahoma, and Jaleel Florence to Missouri. Guys were bailing.
Yeah, because they got freshmen in front of them playing, and they're clearly good players as well. So it's like you don't have to knock one player who's going out the door, and you just say, bro, it's freshmen playing in front of you, and you're a junior. And you're a good player, like like Jaleel Florence. It's time to go. It's in your best interest.
All right, let's close with we just got to mention the special teamers, just because there are people too. They lost their kicker, they lost their punter, they lost their top kickoff return guy, and Whittington, they lost their top punt return guy, but
no, actually, they didn't lose their top punt return guy, because their top punt return
statistically,
yes, correct.
DeCorian has the potential to be better. I know you're going to say him. Okay,
yeah,
but
because the plan was for him to be the punt returner, but then he got hurt. But they wanted to ease him into it.
Yeah.
Because the most important thing is not putting the ball on the ground. So
he'll return punts, and then D.R. Hill can return kickoffs. What do you think about Gatlin Bear?
I don't know. I know he's an old man. I know he's a 20-year-old freshman.
Dude, he ran at 10.2. He ran at 10.2 in the 100 meters.
Hot boy. He is
that
hot.
guy back on kick return, man. Just give him the ball.
That white boy is hot.
And he's big, too. He's got some good size to him.
Yes.
All right. They added Ettridge, who averaged 44.7 yards per punt for Nevada, and he's got 3 years left. What?
I love a good punter, boy.
Dude,
I promise you, I love a good punter.
Me too. And a good kicker.
Yes, there is nothing better than having a good punter and a good kicker, because when you get backed up and you can get a 55-yard punt out of the dude, when he booms one, you're just sitting there like, we didn't give him the ball on the
exactly.
Exactly. The ball's all the way back on like the 28, and you're like, that's more like it. Because I've seen Oregon punters at times where you're just like, oh, yuck, and it just hurts. And
absolutely.
And if the kicking works, listen, I don't like kickers anyway, so
I love kickers.
Hopefully, this is a kicker I can grow to like.
Having coached some football, kickers are amazing. You remember Matt Evenson, right? Kicked at Oregon. You remember him? Oh, he was on the 04, 05, 06, 07. He was on the 07 team that with Dixon.
I remember.
He kicked for me. He kicked for me for about 6 years. That guy was amazing.
I remember Nate Villegas, who Joey tore his ACL after the USC game. After he kicked the game winner, Joey jumped on him and he tore his ACL.
Oh my God!
I remember Jared Siegel, because he was a good kicker, and then my kicker in Jacksonville, who I remember and who I'm still friends with. Out of that, no,
you don't remember Aiden Schneider?
The name sounds familiar. I remember.
Oregon kicker, one of the most prolific in history out of Grand High School. Come on, man. Stop hating on kickers. All right. So the Emmett kid, the punter, went to Lake Ridge High School here in town. Then went to Western Oregon, Nevada to Oregon.
I love it.
Modern football, right? You can just bounce around until you get where you want to go. Moving on up, like the Jeffersons. Then they signed a kicker, Emmett. Oh, sorry. Wait, damn it. I'm all over the place. That wasn't Etheridge. That was Emmett. Emmett's the one who made that journey. Sorry, from Lake Ridge too. He's a kicker who primarily handled kickoffs for the Wolfpack. 39 of 48 were touchbacks.
Oh, good.
He's coming over, but he's going to have to compete with, I can't pronounce this kid's name. Gage Hirich. Who
you need a pronunciation guide.
I do, dude. That's gonna be my off-season goal, is to learn how to say all these kids' names. There's just so many of them, man. Shaden Sharp. Tumani. I had to learn Tumani Kamara, Young Hansen. Those are that's it. Now I got like 100 guys to figure out. It's just it takes a lot of work. Anyway, this kid Gage, I'm gonna call him Gage. I'm not gonna say his last name again. He did kick off for Oregon 30 times last year, 64 yard average, which ranks second in the Big Ten among those who had at least 21 attempts. He also made 16 to 16 PAT, so he's going to compete there. So anyway, there we go. Special teams. Yay. See, we got to show some special teams love.
Yep. Oh, and then on the next episode, we're going to talk about this schedule release.
Oh. Should we talk about that now?
That's fine.
I forgot about it. Dude, I hate schedules. You know what? Let's talk about that now. What do you think? Do you care? See, I don't care. Do you care? What jumped out? What jumped out? We already knew who they were going to play. We already knew who they were going to play.
You asked, Aaron.
Go ahead.
I'm glad you asked.
Because I wrote a story about it and I don't care. Go ahead.
Wow. So why should we read it if you don't care?
No, I'm just saying schedule stories just drive me bananas. Okay. We already knew who they were going to play. Does it matter when and where? I don't care
about it. You got to find an interesting point.
But we knew who they were going to play, and we knew it was going to be home or road. Now we just know the order.
The order matters.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me why the order matters.
So we already knew where the first three games were. Okay, like there was no doubt where the first three games were against.
Where they fell on the schedule.
Yes, yeah, because you knew Boise State was first, September 5th. Oklahoma State, September 12th, and then Portland State, September 19th. Oh, damn, there's no Oregon State on the schedule. Damn.
Nope.
So here's the thing. So the first thing that's interesting is that the USC game is early in the season, where like this last year, it was late in the season. So I'm actually very intrigued by that game. It's in Autzen Stadium. That game means a lot. Like, that game is, and I don't want to overstate this, that game could be could be the Penn State game for Lincoln Riley. It could be the James Franklin game for Lincoln Riley. That you lose that game because he's like, our championship window is open right now.
He said that?
Yes, he said it at the end of after they lost the bowl game. He was like, I'm just so happy we're at a point where the window is open next year. I'm like, what about this is open? You got a whole, like, some of your starters they're probably going to have at least 3 or 4 starters who are true freshmen. Your championship window is not open. So that game is notable. And then the next thing that's notable is that's when Oregon's bye takes place. It's actually very early in the season. So it'll give you a chance to refresh and all of that stuff, but they only have one bye. Oregon only has one bye. And USC is the only team in the Big Ten that has 2 byes because they Notre Dame off the schedule. So this is why I said that this season is so crucial for USC and that game is so important. Because everything is in it. Returning quarterback. You return a bunch of starters. You got a number 1 recruiting class. You had a good recruiting class last year, according to you. And you got 2 byes during the season. Notre Dame's not on the schedule. What more could you want, Aaron?
Nothing.
And then Oregon has their bye. So the issue with that is that Oregon plays 8 games in a row. And then if you land in the Big Ten championship, 9 games in a row. So that's similar to what happened in 2024. So remember when they went to Wisconsin and the team was tired?
Mm-hmm.
And, just run down and all of that stuff? You could end up with a late situation like
At
that.
Michigan State?
Yep. Who's going to be much improved with Pat Fitzgerald at head coach. And that's especially after you just played Ohio State and Michigan in back-to-back weeks. And this ain't Michigan with Sharon Moore as head coach. This is Michigan with Kyle Whittingham, who knows you as well, who knows what it's like to visit Autzen Stadium. He knows where the parking is. He knows where the hotel is. Probably knows where the good food is. Like he's not a foreigner to Autzen Stadium. And then so it's the back half of the schedule. The last 4 games at Ohio State versus Michigan, at Michigan State, and then at home against Washington. That's a tough enough slate that where, like, if this were the way that they, spoon feed SEC teams, they'd be like, oh my God, that might be the toughest stretch in the entire country right there. So yeah.
They need to be undefeated going into that stretch.
I would say the likelihood of Oregon being undefeated when they get to after
Ohio State.
Boise
Ohio
State.
State.
Yeah. After Boise State, Oklahoma State, Portland State, USC, UCLA, Nebraska, and then that Illinois game, like that could don't sleep on them. And then Northwestern. So the chances of them being 8-0 after the first 8 games, I would say I would put that in the assuming that your quarterback is healthy. Let's go 90 percentile. Is that fair?
Yeah, I expect them to win all of those games.
Yeah.
The only semi-scary one is USC, but I don't buy USC till I see USC prove they can beat good teams consistently.
USC is going to be tricky. I'm sorry, Ohio State's going to be tricky.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, and it's on the road too. But you've won in Columbus, and then
no one on this team has won in Columbus.
Yes, yeah, but I'm saying like that. When
Rob Mullins has won at Columbus.
Yeah, but I'm saying when we got Columbus and like with Mario, that was one of those. Ooh, can Oregon, like I'm saying, like can the brand win in Columbus? But now people will, like, when people are picking that game, it's not going to be any more of that. Oh my gosh, Oregon's going to Columbus. Can this team, is Oregon good enough? Like, now it's going to be, now that feels like a heavyweight title fight. You know what I mean?
Right.
And depending on how the rankings go, boy, oh boy, that could get one of them game of the century. You know what I mean? type of thing. So yes, so that's my take on the schedule, even though you hate talking about it.
It's fine. It's just that NFL schedule stuff used to drive me crazy. All right, let's answer a few questions before we get out of here. We have a few here from readers. This is a good one here. How much change do you expect to see in play calling under Merringer from Stein? This person, Sonny, says, big fan of you guys, especially Aaron. George is okay. No, he didn't say that. He just said, big fan of you guys. Keep it real. A big fan of you guys. You keep it real. Thank you, Sonny. All right. Do you think Merringer is going to call a different game than Stein? Because you had a little bit of criticism for Stein at the end of the season. So what are you expecting from Merringer?
I don't have any expectations. I am in a wait and see mode. There's a lot of people that think that this is like a man genius, and so I hope that, I mean, it's very difficult for people to be carbon copies of people, so he's gonna be different. But I hope that he keeps the tenets of the creativity that Stein had in the run game. And I just hope that he's better. Like, and Stein, again, on offense in the pass game, against man coverage, he is elite at drawing and scheming things up. He struggled against zone coverage. So I hope that Merringer is equally as good against man, but just improved in zone. Like, I don't think that Stein's that I want to make this, like, I think he's an upper tier college football offensive coordinator. Everybody has a weakness. His weakness was zone coverage against elite teams in zone coverage. That is a very narrow set of, difficulties. And then you put it with a young quarterback too, it exacerbates it. You know what I mean? So that's where I would hope that Merringer is better. But guess what? He's going to have a weakness too. Chip Kelly has a weakness. Lincoln Riley, he puts up a lot of points, but his offense has weaknesses. There is no perfect thing. There's no perfect place to live. There's no perfect offensive coordinator. There's no perfect head coach. Bill Belichick, most successful head coach. And I'm not even going to get into the cheating and all that stuff, but just but his blind spot was like his ego would get in the way at times. So everybody has a weak spot. So it's not a diss and be like, oh, you were critical of him. No, just it's a critique. It's an observation about him as opposed to saying that I thought he sucked, because that ain't even close to the truth.
Okay. This next one's from Mike E. about NIL and NIL values. He says, how much stock do you put into so-called NIL values reported by Rivals and other sites, and the ranges of what kids are basically making? I'm paraphrasing this now. He kind of takes it all with a grain of salt because he thinks they're leaks that sometimes come from these agents who want to hype up the value. But how much stock should people put in these numbers that they see that are out there for these players and what they get?
Okay. Let's go over there now, okay? Let's go to on 3. Go with the recruiting, football recruiting. Football recruiting. Player rankings. Okay. Hold on. Okay, so let's go to NIL valuation. Okay, so We're going to go to Oregon's, and then I'll tell you, because I know what some of these kids are making, so I'll tell you if they're even in the I can't see them. They have a whole
you gotta pay for it.
Yeah. Dante Moore at $3 million. Okay. So there's two things, right? I need people to understand this. There is NIL value, and then there is pay for play. Okay. NIL value and pay for play. Okay.
Right.
People mistake NIL value with pay for play value. Most college football players have very little NIL value. Think about the NFL. How much NIL value does outside of Miles
a
Garrett?
left tackle? Just pick a left tackle.
Yeah.
Well, according to Jordan Seaton, Legend got $3 million, right? NIL.
Yeah.
No NFL player is getting $3 million to sell shoes at left tackle.
Correct. So he has a $3 million value of pay for play.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is why I believe that there needs to be a hard cap, an enforceable hard cap on salary rosters, because that will create parity and continue to increase parity, and it will create a working system where like the finances make sense long term. But then there should be an infinite value on real NIL. Look at the NBA, look at the NFL. There is a finite amount of money that Bo Nix can make as an NFL player in a particular season. But there is an infinite amount of money, how much he can make in marketing deals and all of that stuff in real NIL. And that needs to be highly scrutinized, because a salary cap needs to be in place in college football. So all the people, George, I testified in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee about players being paid in NIL. So no, I'm not against the players. What I am against is all of this backdoor action and all this secrecy. It's bad for the players. They don't have protections. The schools don't have protections when kids don't live up or they don't fulfill contracts. Look at what happened with Washington. Look what had just happened with Duke and your boys, Miami. There has to be some sort of enforceable system that is transparent. And so I'm for players making as much money as they can possibly make on earth in NIL and how much value they can create for themselves. But we need to stop confusing NIL with pay for play.
Okay.
And so to make that long story short, like Dante Moore's NIL value on three is $3 million. He's probably gonna get a little more than that from the Oregon collective, and then he'll make probably $2 million in off the field money, but he's also going to be quarterback, Heisman candidate, all of those things. So I would say his total compensation this year will probably be in the neighborhood of $5 to $6 million after all in.
Let me ask you this, because my biggest concern with this when it started ramping up was, what do you do when you go from where everyone on the team is on scholarship? And yeah, there might be some under the table stuff, but okay, everyone's on scholarship, but then an offensive lineman might be getting $150,000, but they have to protect the quarterback making $3, $4, $5 million. Is there going to be jealousy? Is there going to be animosity?
Yes.
How are they going to relate? Like, does the player making a lot of money separate themselves from the group? Like, I'm living in this fancy penthouse and I've got this Lamborghini and whatever, and I'm hanging out with fashion models as opposed to, the peasants on the team only making $100,000 or whatever. Like, how do you control that? How do you imagine when you were playing, if Joey was making $4 million?
Way you do in the NFL.
But in the NFL,
they figure it out.
Yeah, but if I'm a rookie in the NFL making 800K, I'm not going to be mad at Mahomes because he's Mahomes.
You're not going to be mad, but you are. I've been in the bottom of I've been a rookie as a 4th round draft pick. I've been a rookie, and where my salary, my rookie year was $225. Okay, mind you, I made more than that in signing bonus money. Okay, like my signing bonus was significantly more than that. And I was looking at, making like, I want to say like $9,000 a week, somewhere around there, whatever, right? And mind you, no, that's not for the entire year. That's for the 17
season, yeah.
And then I would see, like I remember seeing Mark Brunell's check, $400,000 a week. Yeah, so I'm looking at that like, damn, bro, that's woo. So yes, there is some jealousy, but you would hope that people are like, I'm not a person who looks at other people and covets their stuff. I'm like, yo, he's making that type of money. Let me go work out. That's what that says to me.
Right.
Now, granted, everybody don't have that same approach because I'm like, yo, I'm happy for you to make that money. I'm not like, oh man, why is he making that type of money? I'm like, no, I need to go get that type of money. Let me go figure that out. But there have been situations on Oregon's team and on other teams where, and there was a particular situation last year where one player was making X amount of dollars, another player, highly productive, and Oregon does a good job of keeping these things under wraps than a lot of other teams do. But this got found out, created a little bit of an issue because it was like, hold on, I'm just as productive as that guy. I'm a starter, just as productive as that guy. Need my bread. And honestly, it was fair. It was fair. It was understood. I would have felt the exact same way in this circumstances. It was two highly productive players. One just came out of the recruiting trail a little bit more, like
hyped up.
One, yeah.
Right. All right. Cool. All right. That's it for this episode of the George Wrighster Had to Pay His Debts to Aaron Fentress podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.